Fantastic. Yeah, this is a wow. Who would have thought we'd be talking the Midwest like this? I don't know how many years I've actually flown to your lovely town and presented an incredible presentation or incredible. Oh my Lord, we're going through COVID. It's the second lockdown, or no, third lockdown here in Ontario. We're just going crazy here. But anyway, I'm blabbing. What I did, and I'll show you in 2 seconds here. Just before the whole lockdown, I was about to do a documentary and an interview. I had a film crew and everything of all these paddlers that motivated other paddlers, really well-known paddlers, but also friends of mine like Cliff Jennings and Ray Goodwin and Becky Mason and Hat Wilson, all these people. And yes, I'm old, and yes, I've been around for a long time. But I went to do that, but then COVID happened and locked us all down. And I was up here on the hill by myself with a dog, and I thought, well, why don't I just do it as a whiskey chat? So what I'm going to show you is just a collection of the best during that time. And if you want to watch any of those full interviews, they're all on Casey Happy Camper. People are loving them. And I just started them up again because in Ontario, we're now on our third lockdown. It's not doing well in Ontario right now. So we're actually stay-at-home order for another 5 weeks. So I've done 4 so far, to the point that actually I'm doing whiskey chats in the morning and putting tea in my whiskey glass and nobody knows. It's actually, they think it's whiskey, but it's not. It's become that popular. So yeah, so I'm going to start playing this. And then if you have any questions afterwards, then we have some time for Q&A. Are you ready? All right, I'm going to share a screen.
I've been taking people out in the wilderness, reconnecting with wilderness for over 35 years. You hear that? It's the most beautiful sound. So is this disconnection with nature a crisis? Absolutely. I am one lucky person. I've never had a full-time job in my life. My mother is quite concerned about that, but all the jobs I've had have something to do with taking people out into the wilderness so they can reconnect with the wilderness. So when wilderness becomes a place that needs to be saved, they get it. Every culture on this planet is born from wilderness. We've evolved from wilderness. We just need to be reminded of that by getting back into it. I know so many people that have jobs doing the same thing. I've been doing this for a long time, and I work with amazing people that get it. They take people in the wilderness to reconnect. They deal with anxiety, they deal with depression, disease, but nature cures. And I want to share their stories. I want them to go out and show me their special places where the magic happens, where these people reconnect, where this nature therapy happens, to prove that actually this does exist. That if you go into nature, this will actually help you mentally and physically. And I want them to share their stories. And I think this is going to be one incredible journey. Cool.
A little like this.
Frank!
Kevin, how's it going?
Oh, you look very comfortable in your isolation.
Well, I was invited for a Whisky Fireside Chat, so I'm prepared. Actually, this is how I'm spending my entire self-isolation. Me, my robe, and some whiskey.
I'm pushing record right now, Jerry.
Class 1, class 2, maybe 3 or 4. But I'm class I, and so much more.
Okay, I'm recording now, Paul. This is all, first of all, we're matching.
It's a nice walk in the woods here. Just making plenty of noise because I'm on my own. And you never know where there might be a bear. Not that I'm particularly worried about bears, but I think it's good to make plenty of noise. And then into a bunch more rapids and stuff, and I don't want to be going down there tonight. It's going to be getting dark. Almost an Ask Paul Kirtley rant there. Bit of, for those of you that are hankering after the pose. Yeah, I just felt like, I know it sounds a bit wishy-washy, but I just don't feel like the feel of the place.
Oh my lord, it's them! It's the YouTubers! Oh my lord! You know, in the old days, back in the day, as we said, it was there's those people that write the books and do the films on paddling. Now it's just YouTubers.
This is the type of day that makes me feel really lucky just to be alive. The world's messed up, especially environmentally, but when you're out here connecting with nature, you can't help but feel like you want to fight for it, do anything to protect it. If you are someone who cares about nature or you enjoy nature, you have a huge opportunity to help shape the future. Nature is too precious to throw away.
Adam Russo's in the house!
Hello, everybody.
Sun goes down, memories arise, evening air blows cool, like voices in the sky.
Brad, we're recording!
We're live, eh?
Woo!
Excellent.
Not live, we're pre-taped live. I mean, yes, no, we're live, Brad.
Oh, baby! Wow!
Okay, I'm recording now, guys, because I got the cheap version of Zoom, so I've only got 40 minutes for you guys, okay? Like, all the other people went on and on and on.
We have had to make some moves today that have just been a little risky.
Very steep entrance down into this gorge. our first humbling moment on the river today. Definitely something that we'll want to be a little bit more cautious of as we continue on.
Down in the back corner of my mouth, out came 2 pieces of my teeth.
Team right, team right, team right. There's so many things that challenge you both physically and mentally, but the rewards that you get make it all worth it. Oh my God.
How you doing?
Hey, Kevin, great. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. And I see you have your guitar.
Seldom without it. We got great big cities, but a lot of trees and rocks. Yeah, the winter's cold here. Wear 2 pairs of socks. There's half the world's fresh water to paddle your canoe or camp along the shoreline. It's what we like to do in Canada.
First of all, just laugh for a second.
Oh, I can't laugh like on spec. I mean, I kind of can, but it'll sound really fake. You want me to do it?
Well, no, I'll get you laughing.
How's that?
That's how you became Cackle TV, right?
Exactly, yeah.
The Aleutian Islands, Alaska, renowned for bad weather. This rugged volcanic archipelago stretches like a broken bridge from Russia to Alaska along the Pacific Ring of Fire. The archipelago is rarely visited due to its remoteness and dangerous seas, yet we're attempting to be the first people to kayak 1,500 miles along the desolate wild.
Saint-Java for the Scottish, right?
Yaki Dav Welsh.
Oh, Blackbush, yeah, you're very good, very good. Well, I actually, yeah, you've turned me on to the whiskey as well, even though I shouldn't really be drinking whiskey, but I've had a very simple, nice, I have a little Jameson for you today.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, nice and easy to drink. So, sláinte. Hi, I'm Patrick Kelly, and I'm the current president or director, we usually say here, of the Kelly Kettle Company, which is based here in the west of Ireland.
I'm not going to open any of the $300 scotch,
No, I don't do that. Yeah, well,
but we've got writer's tears here.
that's good. That's good. Don't start crying. Don't show yourself. All right, ready?
Blanket.
This is what we're getting right now. This is what we're worried about. And all these areas that were left unprotected in Temagami, now being picked away slowly.
The whole notion of protecting the wilderness, it's sort of incidental, and it was part of my own personal makeup, I think, to try to protect things that I held in esteem or value. And Temagami was my protectorate. And I saw a lot of travesty at the time, accelerating logging, going on clear-cut logging, the technique in logging had changed from hauling prime timber out by horse, select logging, to mass clear-cutting. And I saw these beautiful canoe routes disappearing into Temagami.
Forest management in Ontario.
I knew it.
Kevin! Kevin!
I'm breaking up.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh.
I don't know if I can do the interview because I got an empty head. I love canoeing. I like how it lets me travel on the land and the water. It's a different type of scene. When I step in a canoe, I'm not in a rush to go anywhere.
James, I'm recording. Kevin, good to see you. I just have to, I've got my big fire behind, but I wanted to light a fire just for you. This is a brand new beeswax candle from the market we got last year. Ooh. Hi, buddy. To travel by canoe is to ponder where we came from, where we are, where we're going, who we were, who we are, and who we can be. Suspended between the world above and the world below, stillness in harmonic motion. These are the paddle's promises. To paddle is to plug into the energies of the place, the land, the air, the water, the ancestors, the children who are yet to be born. The paddle connects us to all of that. To pull is to connect to the river itself, but also to the lands it nourishes. To be there, to be connected as a mix of Canadians new and old. It is love that binds people to places in this nation of rivers and in this river of nations. Then one enduring expression of that simple truth is surely the canoe.
Colin,
Hello.
you made it.
Yes.
You paddled all the way around the UK.
Yes. Yeah.
How many days? How long was that?
Yeah. 86 days. 2000. Kevin, before we start, do I need to pour a glass of whiskey?
Oh, yes.
Only Fools and White Horses tells the story of the first ever circumnavigation of the United Kingdom by an open canoe. I made this journey in the summer of 2017 with my nephew, David Duff. We were in a 17.5-foot open canoe fitted with sails. Over 86 days, we paddled and sailed this tiny craft over 2,000 miles on our way around the UK. Our voyage began in Lochsinner on the beautiful west coast of Scotland. But soon we were in the open sea, and our journey saw us battling through some of the most notorious stretches of water in the world, such as Cape Wrath and the Pentland Firth. I'm often asked what it was like to paddle a canoe around the UK. It was the most unbelievable adventure, but it wasn't easy. Long, hard, and often brutal days. The weather and tides ruled. Big seas, tide races, and merciless big ships. This was the norm. The decision to go out to sea in a canoe is serious, and the stress takes its toll on strange relationships. Davis and I were no exception. But the situations we paddled in were absolutely superb, as we made our way along the most magical coastline. Spectacular cliffs, big skies, superb sunrises and sunsets, and beautiful beaches. So to answer the question, what it was like to paddle a canoe around the UK, I decided to write Only Fools and White Horses. It's a first-hand and honest account of two ordinary people against the odds. It's a story as much about people and places as it is canoeing.
Davis, that's the last boat I was captain of.
Michael Peake. Is this today?
It is.
Oh, okay. Hi. I just happen to be sitting here as I do all day long now, waiting for someone to contact me. And thank you.
You sort of look like a mad hermit during a pandemic. Are you all right?
When you see a very big lake stop, face it, it's like 6 feet wide at the most through this huge forest that remains alive. It's like a ribbon of history.
I bet that's cold.
I mean, people ask us why do we canoe as brothers? You know,
We tried it as sisters, and it's just too uncomfortable.
Actually, it reminds me a lot of my brother Michael. But I sort of was thinking that our minds and our consciousness are in the late 20th century, but our bodies evolved over thousands of years. So there's something in there that draws us back to a more primitive existence. That's why I think that so many people feel that pull to come out to the wilderness.
Jim Stevens. Kevin, how the heck are you?
Doing great. So, as we were preambling earlier, I kind of wish that there was a bit more freedom to be in the outdoors, but it'll come in due time. So,
Well, the big question is, you must have a spare tent hanging around, like Reid Canada, for heaven's sakes. Have you been camping in the backyard?
Halfway through the storm, go inside. I'm not sure if you can hear the rain pounding on the outside of the fly sheet. But inside, perfectly dry.
Oh, it's Joe.
Hello.
Joe is a famous YouTuber.
We got everything ready. We saw the plane. The plane was like right there coming in hot. And then the storm kicks up and the plane leaves. We are soaked. You can hear the thunder. Everything we have is put away. We have no shelter. And the plane left. The plane is gone because he couldn't fly in the storm. So now, what?
It's hard to share a screen with this man. I'm sorry. Let's all Vogue with Andy.
Yeah, okay.
we can follow along. It's pretty easy. I gotta get closer. Oh, is he taking his shirt off?
Oh, my.
No, there is a willing giver.
As your grandma would say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Roy! Kevin! Roy McGregor. I gotta say, I'm a little nervous.
Well, I have your books on the shelf back in there. Do you want me to go get them to prove that I'm nervous?
No, let's not be nervous together. Cheers.
Okay.
Canada's invented a lot of things. The Canadarm, kerosene, or AM radio. And I thought, well, the canoe is the original Canadian invention, surely. And it's as valid today as it ever was. No canoe, no fur trade, no canoe, no exploration, no canoe, no romance for a great many people. And I started thinking more and more about it. It has no geographical boundaries. It's completely ecologically sound. Natural resources, even when it's at the end of its day, it returns to nature. Requires no fuel apart from human energy, and it basically can go anywhere.
Hey, we got the same kind of glass.
Look at that.
Hey, here you go, bud. What?
I got out the good stuff for you. Finally.
Oh, Belvini. Oh, very good. Yeah, Belvini double red. That's very good.
Yeah.
Let's have a debate. What should we debate about tonight? It's our last night at the Quiet Adventure Symposium. What do you think about the world of paddling now?
The world
Yeah.
apparently not.
Are you?
I say we are the fringe of the fringe of the friends.
Hey, happy camper, I'm here. Finally, everybody glad to. Hey, where is everybody? Where'd everybody go?
They're gone, Gary. You're late.
What? I'm late. Oh, I was Zoom chatting with my new girlfriend, Carol Baskin. Oh, I lost track of time. But I'm here now. I guess I must have missed underwear guy, probably, right? See there?
Yeah, you did, and he did not miss you. I got to say, you Tiger King.
And that dreamboat, that hunky Andy. I know he gets a lot more fan mail than you do, Kevin.
He actually does. You're right.
Yeah. And I heard you were going to have some of those old video hack guys, those production guys on as well. Glad I missed that.
Yep, Mr. Adams and Yep, which is actually a famous film producer. Yes, he was on as well.
Ooh, really famous, yeah. Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. You know, I'm the glue guy. Yeah, how could you guys do this group chat without me? No canoe trip is complete without the G-Man. Gary.
Well, Gary, I don't even remember sending you an invite.
I get all invites, Kevin. I have my ways. I know you needed me, and I'm here for you, my friend. Okay, but seeing as you're the only one here, and really not that interesting to speak with, I'm going to leave now, and I wish you all the best in this trying time, I'm sure. Get back to drinking. Take care. And communication. G-Man out.
Okay. I hope that you can hear me, and I hope you enjoyed that. So I've done a few more the last few weeks. So I interviewed Tori Baird, which is the wife of Jim Baird, that won the Lone Show. Him and his brother, the Canadians, won the show. And I actually interviewed her because she has a program now called Pal Like a Girl. So women gather at their house. They live on the river, and she does a whole program on how to go canoe tripping with someone other than your significant other male. So it's kind of really cool. And then I interviewed actually these 6 guys that they're 18 years old at the time. They had no job at a kids camp that they had worked at before because of COVID last year. So they said, hey, let's go on a canoe trip. So they started in Wabakimi, which is near James Bay in Ontario, and went all the way inland. I mean, they went along, Lake Nipigon, Lake Superior, but they also went inland to the Chapleau area and Lake Huron and then Algonquin. Yeah, they did 2,000 kilometers in 60 days, and they raised money for COVID for the food banks for the First Nations people during the whole COVID thing last year. That was a really cool interview because, I did a whiskey chat with them now because they all turned 19 at the time, which was really funny to watch. And then I just recently interviewed Adam Schultz. He's a huge Canadian author, best-selling author, a very young guy. He's done some amazing trips. He's actually now classified as Canada's biggest living explorer right now. So I interviewed him, but I really got to know him really well during the interview. I didn't know much about him. So that was kind of cool because most of the interviews I've done on the Whisky Chats, I know them all as friends, but I didn't know Adam at all. And that was a really good interview. And I just finished interviewing David Pelly. He's a person that had been living up in the Arctic with the Innu for many years, from the 70s, and just did a whole bunch of programs with him to get Innu youth to do something else to encourage them in their life choices. So yeah, and I've got a whole bunch more planned. So yeah, any questions?
It looks like the only question we have right now, Kevin, is someone wondering where they can get one of the flannels that you're wearing.
Oh, that must be Scott that gave me this. So Scott from Moose Patrol, he's an outdoor educator, first responder, wilderness first aid person, really nice guy. I've met at a bunch of shows. And he gave me this jacket, and I wore this last year during the whole pandemic interviews because it became my pajamas. Actually, I don't think I've washed it since, to be quite honest. I'm pretty sure, but I wore it because it represents nothing except for Scott and being an outdoor educator and really nice all around guy. There's no sponsorship involved. I'm not knocking any of that stuff whatsoever, but during the whole pandemic, I go, I'm wearing this guy's shirt because nobody even knows who this guy is, and they should maybe because he's a nice guy. So I and it's so funny. I'm still wearing it. Does that answer the question?
I think so. I hope so. Sweet. Well, it doesn't look like we have any other questions. We can wait a moment to see if anyone else pops one in there. And other than that, that was a really incredible video. It sounds like you had some great interviews.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, to check the full interviews out, go to Casey Happy Camper, and there's tons of them. I would say some of my best ones. Roy McGregor. You probably don't know him in the States, but he's a really big Canadian author, and I love his writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I know him. I mean, he's helped me through my career and stuff. That he's a really nice guy, but I was nervous interviewing him. I usually don't get really nervous, but I got nervous interviewing him. And at the end of it, oh man, it was fantastic. In fact, I just talked to him today about stuff. Just kind of cool. Cliff Jacobson, always a great interview. Him and I are great buddies. Even though everybody sees us at shows, we're always like fisticuffs, you know. But yeah, great guy. And actually, I think at the end of the day, I just realized, and you all know that how close knit the whole outdoor community is, and it's just fantastic. For all of a sudden to be stuck, you think back in March last year, we're all stuck in the house. What are we going to do? How many times can we walk around the block? I started contacting these friends of mine, and they shared their passion of the outdoors, and it was fantastic.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Kevin. Oh, we got another question. What's your favorite thing about Jim Baird?
He's a real deal. He's about 10 feet tall. I don't know how you feed him. Like, you would have to bring like a cart full of food like for every hour. Yeah, he's a good guy. Him and his wife as well too. And he knows what he's doing. There's no BS. There's not a lot of BS in our world of canoe tripping, but he just throws it. He's almost like that Scottish Canadian, which I guess I am. It just throws at you. Like, he doesn't care what he says. So yeah, and good hoot. Even though I think I mispronounce his last name all the time and he gets upset. I do throw him under the bus a lot. There's a lot of times at the shows we play practical jokes. I really miss the times of the hands-on shows, whatever. The practical jokes we play on each other. It's just the behind the scenes at the Midwest show, nobody should know about. Well, they should. We have a lot of fun. And there's so many times I've done things with Jim Baird. And look at him. Like, that man could beat me to a pulp in 2 seconds, right? And I've got him so many times, and he's like, oh.
Awesome. Well, those are the 2 questions I posted. Maybe someone's asking another one right now. We'll give them a moment. I posted the website, your YouTube channel, so people can check out the full interviews from people, and your website as well. Yeah, we've got some questions coming in, so we'll just wait a moment.
Uh-oh. I interviewed people from the UK and the United States too, and I really found that fantastic. I think there's a canoe culture in every region we're from. Uh-oh, what happened? What'd they say? What's going on? Uh-oh.
The next question is, in all capital letters, are Canadians allowed to go canoeing during the lockdown?
That's a very controversial thing right now. Actually, huge. I've been on the media a lot. In fact, I'm on again tonight about that. We're allowed to go out for the day to exercise, and only in your region, meaning I have a lake in front of me. And last year, this time, they locked the public launches, so you could not. Now you can go out and exercise, but you can't camp over. But it's a stay-at-home order. There's a lot of COVID right now, a lot of deaths. So I'm not doing much of anything. My sister is a nurse practitioner in Hamilton in a hospital, and she basically said, Kevin, if you do something stupid like go camping right now, I will kill you. So, and she's my older sister, so I'm not doing anything. We've got 5 weeks left, and then hopefully we can go out overnight. But yeah, we're allowed to go paddling. You just have to be smart about it. I think that's we're now accustomed to it. We're now acclimatized. Well, the majority of us anyway. We know logic. We know that I'm not going to go 2 hours north of here on a canoe trip, because if anything happens to me along the way, then some ambulance has to take me to a hospital. Somebody has to take care of me while they're dealing with COVID. Like, I'm not doing that. And I know that actually being out in the woods is far healthier right now than actually going to Walmart, going shopping during COVID. I get that 100%. But I'm not doing it. I'm staying here. So I got a lot of books. I'm reading Sigurd Olson, Lonely Land right now.
And that's a perfect segue. Our next question is, are there any books or videos that you personally have found inspirational or that you keep going back to?
Yeah, I'm reading a lot right now. Actually, Eric Norris, which is a Canadian version of Sigurd Olson, they became good friends, similar people. Sigurd Olson, I think, is the poet of wilderness writing. Bill Mason, great how-to and lovely films, but also Canoeing with the Cree. I'm rereading that again. And also, I read actually Adam Schultz's book. I interviewed him, and I read his 2 books, but his second book was Canada, the history of Canada in 10 maps. And when I interviewed him, I didn't even know about the book, and it became a national bestseller. Like, it was huge. I was like, really? And it was all about voyageurs and about Vikings and about just really cool history. So I'm looking at that right now. I'm actually reading David Pelly's book about, I forget his brand new book, and it's all about the Innu people and their culture and why they love the land so much. Yeah. What else? What else I got? I got tons, man. Yeah, I'm reading a lot because there's nothing on Netflix anymore. It's done. Like, I'm even watching National Film Board's films, for heaven's sakes. I don't know if you know about them, but they're the old black and white. Oh no. You have to watch this tonight, everybody. In 1970 something, Ontario Parks here in Canada, Ontario, they created a sort of a video series because so many more people were going into the wilderness and there's a lot of unethical things going on. So they created this film series called Crickets Make Me Nervous. Look that up on YouTube. Have a wee dram. Watch that. It's like a train wreck. You can't stop watching it. It's some macho guy that shows up in the campground with a Pinto and he's cool and he's doing everything wrong. You have to watch it. It's unbelievable. Yeah. I'm going to watch it again tonight.
I'm definitely going to watch that when we're done here. And then our last question that we have for right now is, how often do you trip in the Boundary Waters canoe area, if you do?
I do. Well, I love Quetico, and where I live is just 2 hours north of Toronto. So a lot of people here do not go to Quetico because they're like, why, Kevin? It's like 2 days travel. Mind you, sometimes I'll fly to Thunder Bay and then I head there. But I love Quetico and I love Boundary Waters. I love the southern border of Quetico because of the pine. And I've done Boundary Waters as well because of the history. I think the history is really kind of cool because you think of it, Ernest Oberholzer, Sigurd Olson, Eric Morris, they all sort of fought to create a large protected area on borders. And really, if it wasn't for Sigurd Olson and Oberholzer pushing the Canadian government, or not, wasn't Canadian government actually, the Canadian writers and canoeists at the time to push the government to expand it, we would never have that area. So I just love that history. However, I did get in trouble the one day. I was writing an article on Ola Leopold, who went, so Ola Leopold or Thoreau? No, it was Ola Leopold. And he paddled into Canada and then wrote about it. So I chased his route for a magazine article. But I went from Canada to the United States to go into Canada to write this story for a Canadian magazine, and I told, border crossing guy the whole story. That didn't go well. The only thing that saved me, was some guy. He was a guy. They had a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, but he was like 2 feet tall and a Trans Am, and he actually drove through the border, and they went after him, and they said, "Yeah, whatever, have a good trip." So they didn't bother with me at all.
Awesome. Well, that's the last question that we have, Kevin. And I think we can probably wrap it up if you have any other closing thoughts you want to share.
No, because I really don't know if I answered that last question. And okay, crickets make me nervous. Watch it on YouTube tonight. And also, if you're on the Canada-US border, always hope for a 3 foot tall cowboy guy with boots and Trans Am.
Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us today at the 2021 Spring Outdoor Adventure Expo. If you want to rewatch any of this, people who are watching out there, you can go to the Midwest Mountaineering YouTube page, which I'll post a link to in the chat. And Kevin is also going to be presenting tomorrow at, 4 p.m. on Ontario's Lost Canoe Routes. So definitely come back and check that out as well. Thank you again so much, Kevin.
Thanks a lot.
All right, we're done streaming.
Okay. When you watch that video, there's a song he plays while he's trying to be cool around the campground. Shoot his scores. He shoots his scores. So today with a film crew, I was like, guys, we need to redo that film, but with a puppet Gary. The Gary the puppet was at the end of this, but he's got to have the mustache and drive a Pinto and shoots his scores. I go, can we get the rights of that song? Well, yeah, we can do that. It's such a bad film.
I'm really excited. I'm fast. I pulled it up on YouTube. I'm gonna go watch it downstairs with my friend who works in the boat department. Awesome. Well, it's really fun chatting with you, Kevin. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Have a good time at your next talk.
Yeah, thanks.